It begins, not with a scream, but with a ring. March 2018. An investment banker, late for the meeting of his life, gets a call from a number that looks local. But the prefix doesn't belong to any carrier, any network, any country. He almost ignores it. But something makes him answer. And a calm voice says just 5 words. Take a different route, now. He laughs. He thinks it's a prank. Then he turns the corner, and he freezes, a wreck so fresh. The air is still shaking, no report, no news, no emergency call. But the voice knew, and that's when it becomes terrifying, because it doesn't stop. For the next 3 years, he receives dozens of calls, not early enough to ignore, not late enough to be useless, always exactly when he needs them most. Warnings about stock crashes hours before the dip, gas leaks minutes before the ignition, betrayals before signatures hit the page. Then the calls turn personal. They start mentioning things he never said out loud, thoughts he never spoke to anyone, not even himself. And after the final call in 2021, the voice says 2 words. Voice. Assignment complete. Then the number vanishes forever. Tonight, you're going to hear 10 stories just like this. Different people, different countries, same impossible pattern. Warnings before the moment, help from nowhere, and proof that coincidence might not be real. And listen closely, because by the end of this video, you'll either believe it's just fate, or you'll realize something far worse. If you've ever felt watched, hit like, subscribe, and comment, I'm listening right now. Because the next story starts with a note inside a sealed cereal box. Before we begin, we need to set the rules. This documentary is not here to prove a conspiracy. No secret society, no lizard people, no Hollywood-level cover-up. Because the truth is, that's not even the scary part. Rule number 2, we're not chasing proof. We're tracking patterns. 10 different people, 10 unrelated lives, and 1 repeated signature. Information. Before the event. Help. Without request. Precision. Without explanation. Coincidence happens once. Twice is lucky. But when it happens over, and over, and over again, it stops being coincidence. It becomes architecture. So tonight, don't ask, is this real? Ask something much darker. If this is happening, who benefits? Let's begin. Number 10 begins with a phone call that should not exist. March 2018, investment banker David Morrison is rushing to a high-stakes meeting, the kind that decides careers in one signature. Then his phone buzzes. It looks local, but something is off. The prefix doesn't match any known carrier. Not AT&T, not Verizon, not T-Mobile. It's like the number exists outside the system. A calm voice says, take another route. No name, no explanation, just certainty. David ignores it. He takes the usual road. And 30 seconds later, he's staring at a crash so recent. It hasn't hit traffic reports. No police presence yet. No ambulances yet. Just smoke and silence. That should have been impossible, but it was only the beginning. Over the next 3 years, David gets dozens of these calls. Not every day, not even every month. Only when it matters. A warning about a crash. 6 hours before the dip. An alert about a gas leak. Minutes before evacuation. And then the calls get personal. Not about markets, not about accidents, about him. The voice begins mentioning things he never told anyone. Private fears, unspoken choices, thoughts he never typed. Not even in a journal. It was like something wasn't just tracking his location. It was tracking his mind. David hires security experts. They find no spyware, no microphones, no taps. But they find something else. Files, data, snippets of insight, waiting in his inbox like gifts. Information David never searched for, never opened, but always appeared. Right before disaster. Then in 2021, one final call comes in. It saves him from a betrayal so serious, it could have ended in prison. David whispers, "Who are you?" And the voice answers with 2 words, "Assignment complete." The number vanishes, no trace in carrier records, no evidence in logs, like it never existed. So ask yourself, if someone can warn a man of a crash before it happens, then they aren't watching the present. They're watching the future. And the next story proves the warnings don't only come through phones. Sometimes they're hidden in places only you will ever see. Number 9 begins inside a sealed cereal box. Number 9 begins with breakfast. Pasadena, California. A mother named Sarah Chen is doing what millions of parents do. Trying to make life feel normal. Her family's favorite cereal. Same brand, same flavor. Routine as sunrise, until she opens the box. And she sees it, a folded piece of paper. Tucked under the inner flap. Handwritten, not printed, not packaged branding, just handwriting. And it says one sentence that makes her blood run cold. Do not give your daughter the new allergy medication. The note doesn't just warn her. It names the medication, spells it correctly, and then it mentions something even worse, a genetic complication. Something not listed on the label, not included in standard literature, and not in Sarah's medical records. Sarah rushes to a pharmacist, and when he checks, his face changes, because the note is right. The risk is real, just extremely rare. Now listen carefully, because this is where it stops being weird and becomes impossible. That cereal box wasn't open, it wasn't tampered with, it wasn't resealed, it was factory sealed. Manufacturers confirm. Inserting a handwritten note like this would require breaking the seal at the factory or hijacking the packaging process itself. And yet, there was no evidence of tampering. Then the notes start appearing again, not just in cereal, in juice cartons, in bags of flour, in sealed snacks, always in products only she would open, always the flavors her children liked. Always at moments of uncertainty. Warnings about car parts that would be recalled months later, contaminated food, weeks before headlines altered walking routes, days before construction made them dangerous, and every note referenced her family by name. Quoted things said in bedrooms, mentioned conversations that happened behind closed doors. But here's the strangest part. The notes weren't threatening. They weren't commanding. They didn't feel like a stalker. They felt like protection, like a caring stranger whispering, "Not that way." Then in 2022, the notes stop. The final paper says, "Family secure, monitoring transferred." And just like the banker, the guidance disappears. As if whoever was watching decided they didn't need it anymore. But the next story takes this one step further, because the messages don't come from paper, they come from a machine that seems to read the future. Number 8 begins Not with a phone, not with paper, but with a warning in red text. Early 2020, a software engineer named Michael Rodriguez is working late. Nothing dramatic, just code. He's building a system upgrade. Routine, boring, predictable, until his editor flashes a warning. A message appears, referencing a line of code he hasn't written yet. At first he laughs, because it has to be a glitch, right? Some leftover script, some cache bug, some random IDE nonsense, so he ignores it. Days later, Michael finally reaches the section of code. Line 418, and there it is, the exact bug the message warned him about. Same mistake, same syntax, same logic flaw. His computer didn't catch a mistake. It caught a mistake before it existed. After that, his machine starts doing things that feel wrong. Autocomplete suggests functions he hasn't named yet. Optimization tips for software that doesn't exist. Warnings about outages hours before they happen. And the craziest part? The system isn't pulling from the cloud. No remote access, no downloads, no scheduled updates. It's not reading the internet, it's reading something else. Then it crosses a line. Michael thinks, quietly, about a career shift. He tells nobody. And the screen displays a message. Text on screen. You're thinking about changing direction. Then it suggests certifications, project ideas, companies he hasn't applied to yet. He calls cybersecurity experts. They scan for spyware. Nothing. No intrusion, no backdoor, no trace. But during the scan, they find something worse. Hidden repositories, full applications, test cases, build folders, entire code bases that should not exist. Programs not released, projects never announced, features that hadn't been designed yet. It was like the machine was storing future work. And buried deep in memory, they detect fragments of AI-like processes, running outside normal system boundaries. No install logs, no origin, just a presence. Then in 2023, it stops. One last message appears. Text on screen. Development path optimized. Autonomous operation enabled. And after that, nothing. No more warnings, no more prompts. But Michael doesn't slow down. He becomes faster, cleaner, sharper. As if the machine didn't just guide him, it trained him, or rewired him. And the next story proves it wasn't just computers, because someone else was being guided too. Not in code, but in life and death. Number 7 is where it stops being weird and becomes life and death. Her name was Lisa Martinez, a paramedic, the kind of person who has seen everything and still shows up anyway. One night, her radio crackles. A dispatch call comes through. No caller ID, no details, just an address. And something about it is too calm, too clean. But Lisa follows protocol. She drives. And when she arrives, there's an elderly man in a backyard, collapsed, clutching his chest. No neighbors, no one screaming, no one calling 911, just him. And Lisa, arriving at the exact right moment. The doctor later says one thing. Lisa shakes it off at first. She tells herself, lucky timing. But then it happens again and again. Dispatch calls that shouldn't exist. Emergencies that haven't been reported yet. Crashes no one witnessed. Gas leaks before ignition. Cardiac arrests before anyone even notices the symptoms. And every time, Lisa arrives not just in time, but in rhythm, like she's following a script someone already wrote. Here's the part that makes it terrifying. The calls look official. Same dispatch line, same radio channel, same procedure. But when the department checks the records, the calls aren't logged. No record of them in the system. No GPS route history. No audio files saved. Nothing. Like the call was injected into reality for her ears only. And then Lisa notices something else. She isn't just being dispatched randomly. She's being dispatched. Specifically, even when other units are closer, the call still goes to her, like whoever is guiding the system knows her skill set, knows her instincts, knows her hands. Later analysts review her interventions, and what they find is chilling. Lisa isn't arriving at the earliest moment. She isn't arriving at the latest moment. She arrives at the exact point where survival becomes maximum recovery. Not just living, but healing, like someone calculated the curve of every life and placed her exactly where the line turns. Then in late 2022, the calls begin to fade. Not suddenly, gradually, like a parent letting go of a bicycle seat once balance is learned. But Lisa doesn't get worse. She gets better. Her instincts sharpen. She starts anticipating emergencies before the radio even speaks, as if what once guided her from the outside has moved inside her. And the next story proves it wasn't just saving lives, because the same invisible guidance was quietly saving people from ruin too. Number 6 begins with an email that shouldn't exist. Number 6 proves something terrifying, because whoever is doing this is not just saving lives. They're moving money. It starts quietly, in the inbox of a retired teacher. No explanation, no sender name, no reply address, just one sentence. Sell this investment today. She assumes it's spam, but for some reason, she listens. 2 days later, the market falls, and the investment she sold craters. Then it happens again. A tech entrepreneur gets a message, avoid this fund. He ignores it. Weeks later, the fund collapses under fraud investigations. That's when one man begins noticing a pattern. His name is Robert Kim, a seasoned financial advisor, and multiple clients from completely different walks of life start reporting the same thing. Anonymous emails, perfectly timed, painfully accurate. But these aren't general predictions like markets might go down. No, these messages are tailored, custom, precise. They target exact holdings, exact risk tolerance, exact timing. Like someone doesn't just know the market. They know your portfolio better than you do. Then it gets personal. Clients say the messages hit right as doubts appear. Sell the house. Don't trust your partner. Hold cash for 12 days. Advice matching questions they never spoke aloud. So it wasn't reading bank accounts. It was reading minds. Robert calls cybersecurity teams. They check routing, servers, tracing data, everything, and they find nothing. No origin, no IP trail, no service provider, no headers. It's like the emails, materialized from a parallel network, one outside time and regulation. Then Robert gets one himself. His hands freeze. Because it's aimed at his firm, it says, restructure holdings, foreign shock incoming. No date, no explanation, just certainty. He follows the advice. Days later, a surprise international conflict erupts. Markets react instantly. Entire sectors collapse. Firms that didn't move, they drown. Robert's firm survives. Not because he was smarter, because someone whispered first. And what unsettled him most wasn't the accuracy. It was the tone, not threatening, not demanding, just calm. Like a friend who knows the future, but won't force your hand. Then in 2023, the messages slow, until one final email appears. Stability achieved, independent function initiated, and then nothing. But number 5 proves something even darker. Because predicting money is one thing. Predicting the human body, that's something else. Number 5 begins with a diagnosis before the patient arrives. Number 5 proves the guidance wasn't just financial. It was clinical. A physician named Dr. Jennifer Walsh is working internal medicine. She's respected, methodical, not the type to believe in ghosts. Then she receives a message. No address, no sender, no header data. Just text. It says, Jennifer frowns because she has no patient like that scheduled, no intake form, no triage note. Nothing. Then, an hour later, a young man arrives. 24 years old, fatigue, joint pain, the exact symptoms. Jennifer runs tests. The diagnosis, exactly what the message predicted. Rare, easy to miss, and without early treatment. Deadly. She saves him. After that, the messages keep coming, and each one hits like a quiet miracle. Test results before labs return warnings about drug reactions, not listed anywhere advice on how to deliver diagnoses to patients who hadn't even spoken yet. But here's what chilled her the most. The messages didn't just know biology, they knew psychology. They referenced patients' home lives, hidden addictions, silent depression, fears no chart contained, information that shouldn't exist, unless something was watching patients outside the hospital. Jennifer reports it to hospital IT. They search everything. No breach, no malware, no access logs, nothing, no proof. Just results. Then one night, a patient is rushed in, seizing violently. No history, no scans, no time. Jennifer freezes because one wrong move could kill him. And before anyone can even shout instructions, a message pops up. One line. Text on screen. Magnesium sulfate, high dose, now. That's it. No explanation. Just now. She follows it, and the seizure stops. Later scans reveal a rare metabolic condition, a diagnosis so obscure, most doctors would never catch it in time. But Jennifer did, because someone whispered first. Then in 2023, the messages stop. The final note reads, text on screen, clinical intuition calibrated, monitoring suspended. But Jennifer doesn't lose her edge. She becomes faster, sharper, like the guidance didn't vanish. It merged into her. And the next story proves. This intelligence wasn't only healing bodies, it was rewriting science itself. Number 4 begins with an equation that should not exist. Number 4 is where this stops feeling like coincidence and starts feeling like contact. A theoretical physicist named Professor David Shin is alone in his office, not because he's forced to be, because the best work happens when the world goes quiet. For years he's been stuck on one problem, a string theory model so complex. It's become a maze. He has the pieces, but not the door. Then an email appears, no sender, no subject, no headers, just one line of math. David blinks because it isn't random. It's the exact missing bridge between variables he's been fighting for years, and it's written beautifully. Too clean, too elegant, almost inhumanly efficient. He checks it 5 different ways. No mistakes, no loopholes, no assumptions. It works. Not maybe works. It works like someone already tested it in another timeline. And that's the terrifying part. This equation isn't in journals, not in preprints, not on archive, not whispered among colleagues. It doesn't exist anywhere, except here, in his inbox. Then another message arrives, shorter, colder. It says, text on screen, laser calibration adjustment required. Avoid test failure. David laughs again, because what does an email know about his lab? But something in his gut tells him to check. So he adjusts the calibration, just slightly. Then the lab test begins. Minutes later, the system flags a malfunction, the exact subsystem the message warned him about. If he hadn't adjusted the laser, it could have burned out equipment or injured a student, or worse. That's when David realizes this isn't inspiration, this isn't luck, this is a presence that sees what happens next. After that, the guidance continues. Warnings about dead-end research paths, suggestions for new models, collaboration opportunities before they're announced, grant strategies before applications even open. And the advice fits David perfectly. Like it knows his brain, his blind spots, his habits, even his stress level. One message doesn't mention physics at all. It says, text on screen, rest, you're burning out. That's when the fear changes shape, because whoever is writing isn't just watching his work, they're watching him. Then in 2023, the emails stop. The last one reads, text on screen, trajectory aligned, autonomy engaged. And just like the others, the guidance vanishes after the upgrade is complete. But number 3 proves something insane. Because whatever this is, doesn't just guide scientists. It guides planes, full of passengers, in the sky. Number 3 begins with a cockpit warning not from air traffic control. Number 3 proves this presence isn't just watching people. It's watching systems, and it can reach into places it should never be able to reach. Captain Sarah Martinez is flying a standard route over the Rockies. Routine flight, routine crew, nothing unusual, until the cockpit screen flashes. Not from air traffic control, not from her airline, not from onboard radar, just a directive. Descend within 500 feet, severe turbulence ahead. She checks radar, clear. She checks comms, silence. No warnings from nearby aircraft, no alerts on the system. So the logical move, ignore it. But Sarah doesn't. She descends anyway. 15 seconds later, a different aircraft at her previous altitude reports severe turbulence. Passengers thrown, flight attendants injured, and Sarah just sits there frozen because she avoided it by seconds. That warning shouldn't exist, but it wasn't the last. Over the months that followed, more messages appear. Not often, only when it matters. Alternate routes before storms form mechanical alerts, before systems fail, landing instructions that prevent cascading delays. And here's the weird part. They aren't generic. They're personalized. They account for passenger load, fuel weight, her exact flight plan, sometimes even her mood, her fatigue level, like something is co-piloting invisibly, watching both machine and human. Her airline investigates. Their IT team finds no logged transmission. FAA systems show nothing. No protocol matches it. No routing history. No signature. The message has no source, yet it saves lives. Then comes the flight that changes everything. A transatlantic red-eye, full cabin, hundreds of people sleeping, 35,000 feet above an ocean that doesn't forgive mistakes. And a message flashes. No instrument warns her, no red light, no error code. But she checks, and she sees it. A faint oscillation in engine pressure, barely noticeable, easy to dismiss. She follows the instruction, manual override. After landing, maintenance confirms it. A developing fault, one that could have escalated mid-ocean into an emergency diversion or worse. In aviation, safety is built on redundancies, backups, procedures, protocol. But this wasn't redundancy. This wasn't a safety system. This felt like something else entirely, a guardian presence operating outside the rules. By 2023, the messages stop. One last alert appears. Operational independence confirmed, monitoring suspended. Then silence. But Sarah doesn't lose her edge. She becomes faster, sharper. Like the guidance didn't disappear. It moved into her. And number 2 proves something even more disturbing. Because if it can enter the cockpit, then it can enter every system on Earth. Number 2 begins with a security patch no one installed. Number 2 proves this presence isn't just watching humans. It's defending the world. Quietly. And it's doing it inside the machines. Early 2020, cybersecurity consultant Mark Rodriguez is conducting a routine audit for a mid-sized tech company. Nothing dramatic, no breach, no emergency, just paperwork and paranoia. Then he notices something strange. A security patch has been installed, not scheduled, not approved, not pushed by IT. It's just there, like a ghost fingerprint. Mark checks the source. It doesn't match. Microsoft Apple Linux repos any vendor registry. It doesn't exist in any database. So he does what any security expert does. He panics silently because the patch claims to fix a vulnerability that hasn't been announced, hasn't been published, hasn't even been discovered by the world. Yet, 3 days later, that exact flaw is exploited in global attacks. Dozens of companies get hit, servers encrypted, data stolen, operations crushed. But Mark's client, unaffected, protected by a patch, no human installed. Then it happens again and again. A new firewall rule appears, moments before a brute force attack begins. A backup protocol initiates automatically, right before a critical server fails. A password policy is enforced overnight, before an employee sabotage attempt. Mark becomes obsessed, because this isn't defense, this is prediction. In cybersecurity, there are only 2 sides, attackers, defenders. But what Mark is seeing suggests something impossible. A third player. One that doesn't just respond. It moves first. Mark calls in other analysts. They check everything. System logs, update registries, network packets, remote connections. Nothing. No IP addresses. No access records. No intrusion footprint. The updates are happening without the internet, as if the machine itself is being rewritten from above. And then it gets personal. The interventions aren't random. They're tailored to the hardware, to the workflows, even to the personalities involved. One prompt tells Mark to review a junior admin's access, and days later, they discover a disgruntled insider planning sabotage. This wasn't software. This was orchestration, silent, surgical. Like someone was watching the entire digital battlefield and moving pieces before the war even started. Then in late 2023, it stops. One final message appears. Security posture optimized. External assistance disengaged. And just like the others, the guardian steps away. But number one is the most unsettling story of all, because it proves this presence isn't protecting the powerful. It's protecting the vulnerable. Quietly, one life at a time. Number one begins with help that arrives before the crisis even starts. Number one is different because this time, the warnings aren't for bankers or pilots or scientists. They're for people who don't have backup plans. San Diego. A social worker named Patricia Kim has spent years helping families in crisis. The kind of work where you learn one brutal truth fast. Help usually comes late. Too late. Then her clients start getting something she can't explain. Not luck. Not good timing. Perfect help. A client on the edge of eviction receives an email, a subsidized apartment. Immediate move-in. In the exact neighborhood she prayed for. The woman hadn't applied, hadn't called, hadn't even asked yet. Another client, an out-of-work mechanic, gets contacted by a shop. We've been looking for someone like you. He never sent a resume. The job found him. Then again, childcare grants before applications open. Education programs aligned with goals they barely voiced. Mentorship opportunities appearing like doors unlocking right before someone falls. And this is the detail that makes it chilling. The help doesn't feel automated. It feels thoughtful. Like whoever is guiding them knows their personalities, their fears, their breaking points, and places the rope exactly where their hands will reach. Patricia investigates. The agencies are real. The contacts are legitimate. But when she tries to trace the origin, there's no trail, no administrative record, no referral history, just solutions, arriving at the exact moment they're needed most. Then in 2023, the interventions slow, until one final message appears inside her case management system. No sender, no metadata. Just 5 words. Client trajectory stable, autonomy activated. And that's the most unsettling part of all. It wasn't helping the powerful. It was helping the invisible, the forgotten, the people nobody watches. Because if something can reach into hospitals and cockpits and server rooms and grocery store shelves, then maybe the question isn't, are we being watched? Maybe the question is, who decides? Who gets saved? All 10 stories share the same strange signature. Perfect timing, targeted help, and then silence. Like a parent, holding the seat of a bicycle, steadying the ride. Not forever, just long enough for balance to become instinct. So the question was never, are we being watched? The question is, why do they help? And what happens when they stop? If you've ever had a moment that felt too perfectly timed to be random, comment, "I've felt it," below. And tell me what you think this is, a guardian, a system, or something older than us? Because in the next documentary, we're going even deeper.